An imbalanced Christian life does not only limit and frustrate the believer, but it creates a narrative that makes a generation fight God and fight godliness. For an example, an imbalanced Christian life, that means a Christian life that does not capture wholeness, does not capture victory. An imbalanced Christian life, as a case study, will not just eventually frustrate the practitioner of such lopsided faith, but it will frustrate the efforts that we're making to see that Jesus is received across the nations. For an example, having someone who is a prayer warrior and not productive, that level of imbalance alone can destroy our understanding of God and the faith. For an example, having a believer who is wealthy but carnally minded, not loving Jesus, are we together? Not on fire for God, it will misrepresent God. For an example, having a believer who prefers to blame demons for everything than to rise up and take responsibility and use the laws of the kingdom alongside the grace of God to build a glorious destiny. For an example, having a believer who believes in laws and principles but does not respect the presence of demonic spirits or spirits. You see the various shades of imbalance. When believers are imbalanced in their understanding of God and their understanding of the Christian faith, these dimensions of imbalance, for an example, will reveal God in a way that does not allow him to be received by minds that are intelligent and by nations that are civilized. Praise God. So on the one hand, you find people who say pray, study the Bible, love Jesus. On another hand, you find those who say forget about prayer, forget about Bible study, forget about all of this, use your mind, use your creativity. On the one hand, we find people who are saying, look, it is the devil to be blamed, let's deal with the devil. On another hand, you find people who are saying there's no devil anywhere, just use your brain and think. And do you know, I don't want to go ahead of myself, but one of the church right now is in a state of doctrinal confusion more than ever before. The state right now, the church, the average believer is even afraid to identify with anything that represents the pillars of the Christian faith, because there are all shades of intelligence for and against. It's a different thing if you hear a dull person talking about a subject matter, but when intelligence meets theology,